Welcome back to the channel. We're going to do something different today. We're going to do a DIY video. These are ceiling tiles that are made of vinyl. They're very thin. They give the look of a custom wood panel ceiling at a fraction of the cost. The customer has used these in the past in another installation in a different house, and they're quite unique. The only complaint they had is in a large room with doors and windows, when you close the door, because of how lightweight they are, they tend to pop up and drop back down, which is a little annoying. This installation is a little more challenging. The customer has an old-fashioned drop ceiling, and as you can see, they had water damage in this room. The roof has since been fixed, but now they want to address the issue, and they'd like to dress this up a little. Some of the things you can see with these old 2x2 panels, they do have like a bevel to them here. So this little bevel we're going to talk about in a minute, because the new tile goes up in there and bevels pretty much the same way. Here's the trick. This room is a non-conditioned space above it in an attic, and they need access to clean outs and plumbing and stuff that are in there, so the drop ceiling is a good choice. The only problem is there's insulation on top of this drop ceiling. It's a 6-inch batt insulation rolled out. So if we were to use the vinyl panels, there would be no support for the batt. So we're going to kill two birds with one stone. We're going to fix the issue of these lightweight panels not being able to hold the insulation. And also, we're going to reuse the panels that are here. Obviously, we're going to get new ones where they're water damaged. But we're going to use these because structurally, these will hold the insulation, but they'll also keep the vinyl panels from every time you slam a door or open a window from popping up. Now, another suggestion that I made to the customer is, one thing we know about these drop ceilings is these grid systems are a metal powder coated white, and it's a blue-gray white. That's just how most of them come. So when you use this raised panel kit, it doesn't quite look like a custom built-in because of the coloring. Now, if we could get close to matching that coloring, or at least do a nice flat white, I think it'll look a lot better. I think it'll improve it. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint the grid, clean and paint, prep, and then we'll remove the tiles, check the insulation above it, replace any of the damaged wet tiles with new ones, and then we're going to come back with the vinyl and put those in and use the ceiling tiles as a structural piece, but also able to hold the vinyl down. Let's get to it.
All right, we got this all taped up, prepped, cleaned, wiped, ready for the track to be painted. We got the fan going, we got everything covered. We're gonna cover the hot water heater, but we're only gonna cover it while we're painting and then pull it off.
Okay, so the paint has had time to dry, and it's looking pretty good. It's nice and clean. It's not exact match, but what we got is a much more smooth matte white. And let's talk about a little bit of the challenges when you're remodeling. Okay, so they had an exhaust fan here, and you remember from before, I'll show you a picture. It was kind of offset. It was out of whack, so it was also noisy, and they wanted to replace it. So we're going to create a panel here to put the new one in the center. Okay, so what I did was I cut a piece of 1/2-inch plywood, 23 3/4 square. Okay, that'll get it in the hole of the panel grid system. What I also did was I measured to find the center, and then off the center, I measured the exhaust fan that we'll be using here. So I found the center, measured out evenly on each side, and I made it 1/8 of an inch wider. So when we set this fan, it'll be able to fit through the hole, no problem. We won't have to force it. We're going to go this way. We've also marked where the window side is, which is where our vent is going toward. So that's very important. Then we have the wires over here, which we'll connect up later. So what we discovered is the concave in the panel is a 1/2 inch. So what I've done is I've made a 1/2 inch mark all the way around the box, and that's how much I'm going to drop it past the plywood. What's the reason for that? Well, I'll show you. Okay, so this fan has a grill cover. This is the cover. This will come from underneath, and this is what you'll see on the ceiling. And it's spring-loaded. You can see here, these springs are what holds it up against the panel. So if we were to just put the fan in flush with the wood, when this pulls up, it's going to pull the panel up. And the panel's made of vinyl, and the vinyl is very flexible, which we've seen. It's going to concave this. It's going to squeeze this up. So you'll see that We don't want to see that. We want the fan to come down into this surface, and we want it to push right against it, okay, so that it's level, so that when the springs pull up this, and this is in the center, it sits nice. It's not pulling the vinyl up or the vinyl sagging. It'll be one system mounted to this piece of 1/2-inch plywood. Okay, so we cut our hole in the wood. What we did now is we took our panel and we laid it down. We marked where the window side is so that we know that this is the window side of the vent. And what we're going to do is we're going to center this piece of plywood right over our panel. Our panel's upside down, facing down. Once we get it lined up all the way around at the edge and it's even, what we're going to do is we're going to go inside the hole and we're going to mark it where we're going to cut it out for the vent. You might even be able to see here, if I can zoom in a sec, you might be able to see that 1/2-inch difference that I was talking about. Let me bring it in closer. You can kind of see right here, maybe it's like, yeah, you can see that gap. That's what I'm talking about the vinyl panel being pulled up if you don't mount the fan box low enough. Okay, so here's a typical tile. We can mark it easily. You just put a mark on each side, and you take a straight edge. You can press down pretty hard and just scribe along here. You can hit your little valleys and peaks. It'll follow. And then when you got your line, you can use regular scissors. Scissors are a little rough. They can work. I use these. These you can buy at Home Depot. These are sheet metal shears. What's nice about them is they have a really long handle and a big blade. So you can really get some straight cuts with this. And cutting vinyl with this, I use it on siding and such. It really is super fast and super easy. I'll show you right here. You can see. You just grab this sucker and you just line it up on a line and it cuts right through. And when you get to the valleys and the peaks, it's nice. You can just nibble right through and keep the line nice and straight. Cuts really fast and straight. Open the mouth a little bit bigger and you can cut right through there. There you go. You got a nice clean cut for your piece. Okay, we're back inside and we have these last two panels to install. This is what I was talking about. I'm going to show you this real quick. So the space above us is unconditioned. So it's got these insulation bats, and that's what's holding the ceiling tile. It's holding them up. So our tile, obviously, as I showed earlier, is thinner. So we're using this structurally, and it's a little bit harder to put them in. But we'll kind of work it in there. We'll work that panel out of the way, push up the insulation, slide the panel in, and shimmy it down. Let's get this a little bit up there. We're going to slide this one into this hole here first. It's a little bit easier to access, I think. Let's see. They're pretty flexible, but you can still, you see they pop right up in there. It's not that hard. But with the structure above it, you got to kind of be patient, slide them over, get them in place. There we go. Now we want to make sure that ceiling panel up top comes down and holds it in place. So we're going to get up here, pull that one over. There we go. She's in. All right. You see we got a little dust on here from the attic above. That's no problem. It kind of sticks to them, but you just get a Swiffer and wipe all of that off. It comes right off, no problem. Now let's get this last one in. Okay, here's the other one. This will be the last one, and then when we get this in, we'll show you the whole reveal. Here. Yeah, the last one's the toughest because of the insulation. But there we go. I think we got it. Okay, so here's the finished product, all cleaned up. There's a lot of light in here, so it might be a little hard to see. I'll try to move around to give you a view. Now, some of the pluses of using this product are super easy to cut. They're very bendable. They work well if you work with them. Like, for instance, the piece of plywood that holds this fan in, that helps with the structure. We talked about that. The full panels sit beautifully. Some of the downsides. Okay, when you're in the corners here, you're going to see this reveal here. We can't have that come down like it does here. If you try to do that, if you try to cut it exactly the width and drop it down, the whole panel will bow because it's so thin. So what they recommend is you just put them in all the way where the cut edge is, and you deal with just having a little bit of an edge exposed. It's not bad. The client loves it. They're very happy with it. It's a nice upgrade. Let me turn the light off. Maybe that helps a little better. It's a nice upgrade for this room that really needed it. We'll do a quick before and after. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll leave a link in the description to the products we used, specifically the ceiling tiles, available on Amazon. And if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you.